Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I'm casting some love from Lake Merritt Park in Oakland, California. And this is your Thursday Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Christopher Witecki. My modality is psychic astrology, and my mission is to stand in my heart and help other people stand in theirs. This webisode is for Thursday, February 4th, 2016, and today the Great Human Walk has reached step 15, Aquarius. Hello, my friends. So good to see you again. I'm so grateful to be of soul service. And I do want to say thank you for the comments and thank you for telling your friends and family. We're certainly growing at a nice rate of newcomers and new people every day. And this really must come from you sharing me. So thank you. I'm so grateful, really. Today, I think we're all going to feel some love and some gratitude. Step 15 is actually a love vibration. And actually, usually, for like the last few months, Step 15 has happened on Love Fest Day, which is when the moon crosses Venus. Well, Love Fest Day is actually tomorrow, this week, not on Step 15, but today I think you actually start to feel the love. It's going to be an interesting vibration. So today I believe you'll be feeling the love, and let's get right on to today's vibe. Today's vibe is sunny and cautiously optimistic. That's how I'd put it. That's from a combined effect of Step 15, bringing some love and revitalizing the planet. But the moon, as we're going to talk about, is in the late degrees of Sagittarius, which is hopeful but not certain at all. And then we get into serious Capricorn later in the day. So it's actually a two-part emotional day. What we're loving is what we love. That's what Step 15 is. Step 15 is the love vibration. It's exactly in the middle. It's ruled by Libra. And if you were a 15-degree anything, you're actually a master of peace. You're a person that knows how to keep peace. Now, you may not feel at peace yourself, whole nother conversation, but you probably are a master of peace. So today the universe is restoring peace, which is good. I think what we feel is hopeful today. I feel hopeful. That's because the moon is in late Sagittarius. We got serious yesterday when the moon crossed Saturn, but today I think we're feeling hopefully optimistic, and we don't want to think bad thoughts. So that's a good thing. We want to hold that balloon. Now, what we receive is where we belong. Venus is at step 14 Capricorn, so we are kind of taking the medicine. We're kind of understanding what it's going to be like. We're taking in all that kind of truth. So this is kind of like that moment right before you get married. If anyone's been married here, raise your hand. Anyone been married twice, raise your hand. Just kidding. I've only been married once officially, but like when you are about to sign away legally and everything, to whatever state, and I say this to all straight and gay who wants to get married, there's this moment right before there where you're like, am I doing the right thing? And whatever that is, buyer's remorse, I don't know, marriage remorse, today you might be feeling that. Today you might be, second guessing in your mind, is this where it is, but you are accepting it. And what we think about is that we're afraid, I think our mind might be concerned about feeling crazy. So I just want everyone to know, you might think or feel you're crazy for a second, but that's Mercury hitting step 20 Capricorn, which is a very uneasy step, okay? Capricorns are not good once they get into the passionate degrees. They like the certain degrees. They like the absolute contracts. They don't like emotion. So Mercury is up to step 20, which means our mind is starting to deal with the plurality of it. And our mind is starting to realize that we're not going to keep up with every detail, that we're going to have to wing some of this. And that's always the way it is as humans. We do have to wing it. So our Mars is where it was yesterday, or our ego, or what I like to call the dumbass. And the dumbass just wants to do whatever works. Okay, so the dumbass wants to do whatever works. So, in essence, your joy quest today, should you choose to accept it, is to obey your heart's highest good. Obey your heart's highest good. That's what step 15 is. Your heart needs something, give it to it, and give it to it even more. Give it to it higher than it would have asked. Give your heart even more love than it would have requested, okay? You can never OD on love. You just can't, especially when it comes from your own self. So obey the heart's highest good today, and we'll see where that brings you. Well, let's segue now onto today's topic that will, I think, help you with where everything is going and growing. Today's topic is synergy energy, the power of the hive. And synergy is something I've been really fascinated with since I got into leadership. I've always been interested in leadership, and synergy to me is what I aim to be in. Like, whenever I want to be in a team, whenever I want to be among people, I'm seeking synergy. I love that feeling. And let me define it for you according to an internet definition I have. Synergy is when the interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations or agents produce a combined effect that's greater than the sum of their separate effects. So basically, synergy is when you could have one person doing this much work, you could have another person doing this much work. They'll only be able to do so much work in a day. But you bring these two people together, and suddenly their combined work together produces more than both if you've just added those two together. So now more than each individual could have done. And this is what I call the power of the hive. The beehive. You know, bees are amazing in that sense. And human beings, I think, if I were to be critical of the United States, if I were to be critical of capitalism, I would say that it has separated us. It has made us think that we each have to have our own, that we each have to do it on our own, that we're weak if we ask for help. We all have to have our own car, our own computer, our own everything. And as a result, we don't experience synergy energy ever. And you could argue that the dark wants it that way, that, forces that want to tax us and take advantage of us want us separated, do not want us coming together, do not want us all coming into synergy. Because synergy energy is the energy that created the pyramids. Whether you believe it was created with sound or slaves, it was 1,000 slaves all humming, or 1,000 slaves carrying rocks. Either way, it was synergy energy that did amazing things in the past, and I think we have forgotten this. So let me bring up the 5 o'clock question today to you, and dig deep and ask and share if you like with our friends in our community at soulgarden.tv. Have you ever been a cog in a machine that was much greater than yourself? Have you ever been a cog in a machine that was much greater than yourself? And when I say cog in a machine, I mean if you didn't do your job, the machine would break down. So it's not that you're a robot that works at McDonald's and McDonald's breaks down without you if you call in sick. I mean, have you ever been part of an intricate machine, a cog, where it was bigger than you, but you were a necessary agent of it? And my follow-up question is, if you were in that situation, did you feel like you had to be the star, or did you feel appreciated being that cog? So I'll answer this myself. I think probably my most fun time of being a cog in a wheel was when I was in drama club in high school, because we're being silly, we're out after dark, we're putting on plays. And really, it's like the whole damn thing will all look like crap if everyone doesn't do what everyone has to do. And I was literally, like, at one point, I pulled curtains. And I was just so proud to pull curtains, but I'm weird that way. But I knew if I didn't pull the curtain, and I would hear from I could still hear my director, "Wateki, are you wicked retarded?" He was from Boston. "Are you wicked retarded, Wateki?" And I was like, "Oh, shit." I wasn't paying attention. I was probably talking to somebody in the backstage. But it felt so good. When everything comes to an orchestra and the orchestra's there and the chorus is there and makeup and hair and da-da-da, it just feels so good. I never wanted to stand out. I didn't care that I wasn't the lead. I wasn't jealous ever. I was so happy just to be a cog in that wheel. I bring it up because I feel like, independence in our country does not mean isolationism. You do not have to be isolated to be independent. You can be an independent part of a greater thing and be a very important part of that greater thing and still be independent yourself and not lose your independence. I think Americans want their independence. You can have your independence and be a cog in a wheel. If you're not there, it's all going down, I think what's interesting is that when we evolve, God or the universe never puts the whole answer in any one person's hands. I've definitely noticed that whenever humanity goes far, not everyone had the idea. Even when you look at, God forbid, the nuclear development in the desert during World War II, But it wasn't just Einstein's equals MC squared. It was every genius, every great mind we had. And it's like anytime there's a solution, God doesn't put it in just one mind. It's in 5 or 6 minds. And those 5 or 6 minds, the mastermind, they have to come together in order for them to all come together. And this is what the collective consciousness is. So I think we've been talked out of our synergy energy by being talked into our freedom. And I don't think we realize that we can be free and be a part of something greater. So I think we have to be careful that to not get, to not forget that we need each other as Americans more than we need money or more than we need credit. Okay, let's not fall into the illusion that we need anything but each other, because that's how we created this country. That's how every people comes together, is with each other and the goodness of each other. Who gives a shift about the money? Who gives a shift about what crop is growing in this part of the world? It's about us coming together. So today I put out to you the idea of whatever you are finding peace in your world. Are you finding peace because you're way off here by yourself? Or are you interacting with us and are you participating in the synergy energy? Because I'm curious what that synergy could bring. So let's take a look at today's planets and see what's synergizing for you in the Zen Den. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Zen Den. If you can, take 3 breaths inside today and just check in with your spirit. You know, I find that Holy Communion is just that. You connect and you just listen to that spirit all day long. If you just log in for 3 seconds, that's all you need to do. So take 3 breaths with me if you don't mind. Okay, and I have an affirmation for you. Very simple, and you can repeat after me. Say it out loud and say it proud, by the way, in an affirmation. A lot of people say affirmations in the car and stuff, but to say it out loud, feel it resonate in your chest, you are vibrating, creating that vibration, literally. And it actually counts in consciousness. It actually counts. So give it a try. I accept and receive whatever feels good to me, and so it is. I accept and receive whatever feels good to me, and so it is. Now that sounds maybe overly simple, but you know, a lot of my clients who have a hard time, for instance, getting paid money, receiving gratitude from people, not being appreciated, they actually can't just accept and receive what feels good to them, like the sun on their face. And there's no consciousness that accepts and receives what feels good. And so you're not holding space for it. So today, very simply, just accept and receive what feels good to you. All right, so let's take a look at the planets. There's a lot of neat stuff going on today. First of all, the sun is at step 15. The microphone just went weird there, so pardon me. And that basically means I love what my thoughts are, step 5. So this is a simple equation. This is what Buddha taught. If your mind is on chaos, your heart's energy will go to chaos. If your mind is on your heart's energy will recirculate back to the heart. So you must be mindful of the heart today, okay? Think about the heart. Now, when I went to Spirit and asked Spirit, what would you like me to talk about? Spirit said, talk about Mercury. And Mercury is the I think state of awareness. So Mercury is at step 20 today. And this is what I spoke about yesterday, is that from step 20 onward, it's I feel. That's the 2. So our mind is on our feelings about this, our feelings about that. And that's kind of a slippery slope when your mind is on your feelings, because if your mind is on your feelings, freaking out at your feelings, you can go down a slippery slope. If your mind is on your feelings to make sure your feelings are okay the whole time, then you will be powerful. And that is the separation of masters and amateurs right there. The master is sitting there feeling calm, while the amateur is asking the master, how do you stay so calm? You know what I mean? So you have to think about it is the answer. And that's what Spirit wants to know. Now, the moon actually goes through 2 different states today. In fact, what's interesting is at 11:21 a.m. when I was born, the moon is crossing the galactic center at step 27. So God is speaking at 11:21 Pacific today. And that means that a lot of you will be hear from your God today. That means that whatever your spiritual voice is inside of you, I believe it will call to you And I will be programming in my Serious Joy Personal Sensei service the period of time that crosses the galactic center. So I'm programming that in so you can kind of be, just ask yourself what's going on right now, because I think we're in communion with Spirit at that time in a heavy way. But then things turn by the end of the day as the moon shifts into Capricorn and will be headed for Venus, which will be Love Fest Day tomorrow. But this is a dark Love Fest day. I'm going to talk about it in tomorrow's show because Venus is conjuncting Pluto, which means what we love the most will be right next to something that's dying at the same time. So it's like a bittersweet kind of like Love Fest. I call it Black Rose Love Fest. And I think it comes from the fact that people are going to, understand where things are going. And I think people are going to mourn what's changing as a result. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But I bring it up because a lot of my clients and viewers tend to get your transits early. And remember, masters tend to manifest transits early just because they always want to be ahead of everything. So if you're feeling some dark gloom of like a bitter death, that's tomorrow's Love Fest, okay? But the point is that emotions today go through two different states. We start off in this very high galactic center, oh my gosh, anything's possible, and then the moon goes in the very early degrees of critical Capricorn, and so emotions are like, oh God, but then we got to pay this bill, and we got to pay that bill, or whatever. So it can get very serious later. Now, the last thing I want to point out, actually, before we end the day, is Jupiter. And Jupiter is at step 22 and conjuncting the North Node. And I can't say it enough. No matter what's going on in all the heavens, all right, Jupiter at 22 retrograde means how you feel is what you attract and what reality is built. And it literally comes down to, you could never watch my show. You could know what's going on. You could be totally in the dark, alone somewhere in the world. And if you're managing your feelings right there in that place, no matter where you are, and you're taking care of yourself, then you're going to law of attract yourself out of that situation and to a better place. So it doesn't matter anything but how you let yourself feel in the moment. Don't abandon your feelings to worry about your feelings. That's Mercury step 20 up can do. Be with your feelings, give yourself your pacifiers, and keep yourself in a cuckoo kind of state, okay? Coo as in like a baby cooing, not cuckoo. All right, we'll leave it at that. We're going to talk about facing our greatest fears tomorrow and breaking through this reality. But stay tuned until then, all right, my friends? And listen to your heart. So, 2 shout-outs. I will be at San Francisco Soul Garden Love Fest party on February 6th. That will be posted on my website. It's just a little restaurant in the Fisherman Bay Wharf area. Come have some chowder with us. And we'll be doing a Los Angeles Love Fest party on February 20th, FYI. Please do support us in our journeys of spreading the love by trying my personal Sensei service at seriousjoy.me. All right, my friends, I love you. I appreciate you. It's such gratitude to be of soul service. I'll see you in 24 hours with more. Until then, live, love, be.